This would be a day that Peter, James, and John would remember forever, you might imagine. This encounter on the mountaintop with Jesus would be sustaining for them in the darkest time, with his arrest, his trial, torture, crucifixion, death. The confusion that filled that time nearly broke their faith. They were asking, who ultimately was this man in whom we had put our faith and in whom we had entrusted our lives? Jesus knew on the way to Jerusalem that their faith, as true as it was also weak. And so at this moment of transfiguration, God did not impose a vision into the minds of Peter, James, and John. Instead, he lifts the veil. He allows them for a moment to see more completely, more truly, the reality that's always there. Jesus is always Son of the Father. He is always the fulfillment of the law and the prophets. He is always this glorious, but he chooses to veil his fullness, his glory, that we may see him with earthly eyes, and in an earthly way that is more relatable, is more familiar. But Peter, James, and John on the mountaintop see the glory of the Lord, brief. And Peter wants to stay and build the tents and we might today, build a beautiful church. And that would be, on one hand, beautiful churches are great. God wants the temple of our heart. God wants not a physical structure. God wants Peter's fidelity and love. As they then go into the remaining days of Jesus' ministry, as they then go towards Calvary, this is a reminder for all of us that we in life's challenges do not always see with eyes of faith as we ought the reality of God below, behind, but always present. We can get caught up in the ways that we don't have our hope met. We can get caught up in the storms that are on the surface of the sea. We can get fearful, afraid. Lord, why is this happening? And yet, the invitation is to have those eyes of faith strengthened, especially in those moments. The muscles that we exercise when we hold fast to faith. To say, Lord, even when, especially the most difficult times are here, I know that you are God. I know that you are with me. I know that you love me. I hold fast in these moments your goodness, your love. Jesus is present to us, veiled. And this is an especially true reality we celebrate every Eucharist. As the Lord leads the apostles back down the mountain, he tells them not to share this until the Son of Man has risen from the dead. And they keep questioning, what does he mean when he says rising from the dead? He means exactly what he said. And today, so many Christians and Catholics question, what do we mean when we say the Eucharist is the body and blood, soul and divinity of Jesus Christ? We mean exactly what those words say. This is the presence, the real presence, an encounter with Jesus. The real presence of the Eucharist is received into our bodies because we have received first the gift of faith in our mind. And knowing that we have this lasting presence of Jesus in the Eucharist to be our strength when we are weak, to be our daily bread, to be our nourishment along the way, should be and is, with the eyes of faith, the most precious gift imaginable. We are so grateful that the Lord loves us so much to never leave us. And as we receive him, as he comes to us in the Eucharist, this encounter with his real presence, receiving Jesus himself, is both strengthening and an invitation, a challenge. Lord, help me to see with eyes of faith how much you care for us and how you now strengthen us, you strengthen me to love with your heart, be made new from within, to extend your presence as I live this week, strengthened by you in me.